Hey, I'm Brian Van, sportbiketrackgear.com, and today we're going to install the driven valve cover set on our forgotten project bike, the Honda Grom. Okay, this is another one in a series of new Honda Grom videos, right? The kids are riding the bike now during the Corona apocalypse because we can't go to a racetrack. So I thought, hey, I got this big box of parts been sitting here for a couple of years. This is a perfect opportunity to get this job done. Valve cover set. We're replacing the covers on the engine here and here. This is a purely cosmetic mod. The only reason in the world you're doing this is to make your Grom look cool, right? Make it stand out in the crowd. All made in the USA. Anodized in several blingy colors. Because of the color of this bike, I decided to go with red. This is going to match our timing cover, our sprocket cover, and you guessed it, I have some more shit to put on after the fact. Before you start this project, take a look at your engine, right? This bike has 100 miles on it, just sat here in the corner, right? Super clean. If you see a bunch of dirt in these areas, what I want you to do is I want you to clean it thoroughly before you begin your project. Do you need to drain the oil before you do this? No, you don't. Do you need to change the oil? Well, that's a personal choice and you're personally responsible for what you choose to do there. In this case, I am not going to change the oil. I really don't feel the need to do that, right? As long as you're not introducing debris into the motor, you can get away with it. But still, once again, that's your choice, not mine. I'm going to use an 8mm wrench. There are 2 bolts on each cover. Do we need new gaskets? I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no idea. No idea. Okay, there's a little bit of oil being lost there, just the tiniest little bit sitting in that cover. Really not a big deal. We're making just a little bit of a mess now, finally. Feel like we're actually wrenching on something. I'm gonna have to get a rag now. And then we'll need to get in there and dig out that O-ring. We want to inspect the O-ring carefully, okay? So let's start with your fingernail, see if you can pop it out. The answer there was a negatory. Very carefully now with that pick. Out comes the O-ring. Here's me pretending like I can actually see anything. Looks great to me. I can remember back to laughing at my dad when he finally actually needed to wear glasses sometimes. And let me tell you, when you're turning 50 and now all of a sudden you need to wear glasses sometimes, the shit's really not that funny anymore. Okay, let's make sure that we have a good clean surface here. I'll wipe that down. Once again, this motor is pretty clean due to the fact it sat in the corner for a long time. All right, now let's get the fasteners ready. With each one of these Grom projects, I'm kind of stressing quite a bit installing the bolts. You install them by hand. You need to be able to run them down by hand. They should install very easily, smoothly, okay? Before you put any torque to it, you want to make sure that all the fasteners on the component you're installing have been run down and seated, okay? In the case of this now, the shape of the cover is a little different, so I'm going to go get myself a 1/4-inch drive ratchet and socket to install this. Okay, went back to the tool cart. So let's start with making sure they're both completely seated. I didn't see an instruction sheet or torque specification, right? Because there were no instructions included. So we're not going to use a torque wrench here. But what we do want to have is good, even torque. Like so. These are not giant fasteners, and that's a little baby ratchet. So I'm only pushing so hard. All right, now we can move on to the cover up here on the top. You gotta love mods like this. There's no reason for it beyond the fact you just want it, man. You just want it. You want to make the bike look cool. It doesn't change any aspect of performance. All right, pop that off. Same thing here. It's very carefully. Remove that O-ring. You know, in the low mileage of this bike alone, the gaskets are just in fantastic shape. So the older your bike is, the more miles you have on it, the more opportunity there would be for the gasket having dried out. You know, possibility of having to replace it. Like put a little film of oil like that on the seal. Now let's double check that surface, make sure it's all clean. Installing all these little cosmetic bolt-ons that we're doing right now, you know, it'd be great too if you kind of time that with some maintenance, like an oil change. Wouldn't be a bad time to change the oil, that's for sure. You know, I'd leave the oil in the motor and get all the bolt-ons installed. And then warm the motor while you're checking for leaks, right? So you can kill that bird there. And once you verified you have no leaks, go ahead and finish up your oil change, and you are race ready with your Grom. Same as on the other one. It's gonna be a little tougher here to get that. I'm not gonna be able to use the ratchet on this one. That scared Caleb, I promise you. He thought he was going to lose a toe. Okay, I want to get these both run down. Definitely going to have to use a wrench here to torque these. We can use that socket to get them run down. All right, slide the wrench in. Let's get it seated. That one's seated. Now we can torque it. Okay, there we go. Both of the covers are installed, right? And that really looks pretty tricky. You know, when you get that timing cover on there and then you get the two valve covers on there, that is pretty badass for sure. Complements that sprocket cover. You guessed it. I got some more little bolt-ons for the engine. We'll have another video. Look for that. If you have any questions, leave those in the comment section of this video. I answer all that stuff myself. I'm here to help you get the same result from your project. We do ours. And also, if you're not comfortable with this, buy all the parts, take it into the shop, and pay a licensed technician to do it.